All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I want to introduce you. First, I'll let you introduce yourself. What is your name and what is your title?
Yes, I'm Jackie McKinley. I am the Vice President of our U.S. Enterprise Sales business at NetApp.
Nice. So this is your first year at this convention. What is your takeaway? And what has been just the overall mood? How have you enjoyed yourself? How do you like it?
It's been overwhelmingly so positive. It's phenomenal. It is my first experience of being around this many women, sisters in sales. I've been to conferences before that covered all kinds of industries, but this is, when I tell you, the best event ever. When I walk into the room, my experience is I could exhale. I could really be authentically me. I saw other women doing the very same thing. And to see the type of talent who's here, and everything's been done in excellence. And to surround myself with sisters who can relate. When I was just presenting on stage, you would have thought my co-presenter, Dale Bennett Rochester, you would have thought we had known each other for a lifetime. I just met her 30 minutes before. So that was an indication of just the connection and sisterhood that I have felt since I've been here.
That's amazing. We love to hear things like that. You've been in sales for many years, many years. What is one thing that keeps you in sales? What is one thing that really anchors you to this career, and why? Oh, sure. No problem.
Okay. You want to start the question again?
Yeah, I'll just start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've been in sales for many years. What is one thing that anchors you to sales, and why?
Excellent. I love being able to solve problems and help others solve problems. I'll start with, for me, people. And I'll say sales leadership. I avoided it for many years until I realized I was already helping other people, and now I could do it on a larger scale. So I like the sales leadership part because there's so many sellers that don't really know how to get started, what to really do, and to take all those years of experience you talked about and be able to give that knowledge back. That excites me, that motivates me, number one. I like to motivate people. I like to inspire people. And number two, I like competition. I like the art of the sale. And again, I do more strategy versus having to sell some more, but I do like being able to develop how sellers can go sell. I like all of the above.
That's wonderful. That is very beautiful. So you just like the entire overall experience of that. And I'm sure you're really showing your personality too, because you have such a great energy to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What would be, this conference is so important because it's specifically for Black women, women of color. What have been some of your experiences? I think that it's very complicated to navigate, especially in your early career, being a Black woman in sales. What have been those experiences for you, and how did you navigate them?
Great. I would say early on, I was operating by myself. I didn't see anyone who looked like me, and I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. And I made a decision that when I would get those exposures and opportunities to be in leadership, I'd always want to pave the way to make it easier, number one. What I also had to learn, here's a big lesson I had to learn, especially the higher I got up. When I would go into sales calls and I would be the leader for the sales team, if I was a global account manager or if I was a director, what happened, the customers always looked to my white male counterpart to think that individual was the leader. So I had to make a decision. How do I navigate that? Because that made the other person feel uncomfortable once they found out I was the vice president or the director, et cetera. So I learned, and this is pre-COVID, and I navigated differently after COVID, but I had to learn how to make them feel more comfortable. That was my strategy. I began to whiteboard. I would go on whiteboard. Once I saw that I got to get them focused on the message and not the messenger. So what I tell everyone to do, once people are surprised about how you show up, how do you then let them get over what they see on the outside and make sure I deliver? I add value. What can I do to help that other person achieve their goals? And then I saw this. I saw them lean into the conversation. Then I knew I had them. So I had to develop strategies to get people comfortable with hearing me and not looking at me.
I really like that, because I am new in my career, and I think that that's very important is strategy. I think strategy is such an important way to navigate. Denise talked earlier about mentorship versus sponsorship, and that was such a ding ding moment for me. Do you have a sponsor or a mentor, and what would you tell younger women who are also trying to get a sponsor or get a mentor? What would your response be to them?
And yes, I do have sponsors. You can't make it up the corporate ladder without having sponsors. And again, as we talked about, Denise said it, sponsors are those who speak on your behalf when you're not in the room. And when they're speaking on your behalf, others have to validate, oh yes, I support that person. I know that person. So building those relationships are extremely important. Before you can go ask someone, this is important. I had people ask me about mentorship or sponsorship. I can't lend my name to just anybody. So from a sponsorship standpoint, you have to make sure that your brand is such that someone will want to sponsor you because of the work that you have done. That's important. You can't just ask for a sponsor. Demonstrate that. From a mentor, you can always easily ask for someone to mentor you. But here's what I've seen in terms of successful mentors. Relationships. When somebody comes to ask me, I'm impressed with this. They'll say, well, Jackie, I will love your mentorship, but what can I do for you in return? That's so special. That doesn't happen often. And if I have to prioritize who I want to mentor, guess who gets that prioritization?
Yeah.
And so allyship, sponsorship will speak on your behalf when you're not there. You have to earn the right to be sponsored. Mentorship, just go ahead, be courageous, ask for it, but then also ask them, what can you do in return for them?
And how would they go about doing that? Is it just looking at their careers and kind of finding a way to make themselves of value? What does that look like?
So many times I'll say, thank you for asking that question. And I'll say, well, let me think about that later. But in terms of the mentorship you're asking, how would they add value to me as a mentor?
Yeah. If someone was looking for mentorship from you,
okay,
how would they look at your career and say, how can I add value to her? What can I do to make myself valuable so you could take me on as a mentee or a potential, or you could be my sponsor?
Excellent. So I would say this, I want to find out about that person, right? As a mentor, I want to find out their work ethic. How do they show up? What is their brand? They don't have to be extremely successful already, but are they putting the work in? What are they doing? Let me know some of the things you have tried. I don't want to be the answer to all your problems. I want to see, what have you done? How can I help navigate you? How can I help steer you in the right direction? I want someone who's been out there working to try to make it happen. And then say, could you help navigate some of the things and redirect based upon your experiences? One thing with a mentor too, when I was looking for mentors, it took me a while in my corporate career to find mentors, because for me, I've got to relate to the person. I've got to like their morals, their ethics, how they lead business. And for years, I didn't have that until I prayed for me. I prayed and I asked God to show me the right mentors. And again, I've been able to find some that have core values. Your core values have to be important, because I can easily rise to the ranks and do it a different way. When someone's selecting a mentor, yes, look at my career and see what I have in common that person would like inside of me. But I also want to see that mentee, what do you do? What value are you being able to provide? Secondly, what I also ask, once I mentor someone, this is very important, I ask them to pay it forward and go mentor somebody else. That's important for me to make sure they give back.
I see that is very important for you, because you've mentioned that twice now. Is just paying it forward, paying it forward. Does that open doors for you? Do you think that has opened more doors?
Absolutely. Because for me, it comes full circle. Because I know someone did that for me, paying it forward. Laura Foots, I'll say this, from many, many years ago. Laura was amazing. The only African-American manager I've ever had in my career. And she's the one that's responsible for me looking outside of IBM. I was at IBM. And she paid it forward and poured it into me. And I use that always as to say, I can never make it unless I pay it forward to somebody else.
Wow.
And I make sure that comes full circle, because it was done for me.
Wow. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
What is a takeaway just from this conference?
Sure. Oh, my. Number one, when I hear this, and I hear it often, when we ask, why don't we have a more diverse talent pool in corporate America? Not just with my company, with every company that I've talked to other of my colleagues at. They'll say, well, it's not enough diverse talent out there. I would say, come visit Sisters in Sales. and you'll see for yourself the quality. And I'll use this example. I won't call the person's name. I had a talent acquisition person come here for my company who is not of the same persuasion as I. And he said to me a few minutes ago, Jackie, I am so impressed with the talent here. He said, I was not expecting the level of technical talent, the technical recruits that he's able to now link in with and start to have conversations with. So absolutely, it opened doors. So I would say the one takeaway is that we have a lot of talent. We just have to make sure that the talent is known and this is more widely advertised. This is a phenomenal organization. We just want to make sure we market it and make sure we do our part for me to go back and talk more about it.
I love that. I love that. What are you working on? Where can we find you and how can we help aid to your journey?
Oh, well, this has been great for me. I'll be very transparent. One of the things I love doing is being able to share my wisdom of things I've learned along the way. And I really want to be able to give back. So this opportunity today solidified something for me. That when I was able to be asked to do this, I wanted to say, is this something I want to continue to do? And this solidified it. So I would just say, keep asking me to show up, keep asking me to give back. What I'm working on in terms of my career is I'm more in the strategy role right now. So I'm learning a lot in terms of how to prepare for business 5 years from now, looking at it not just the here and now. So it's a lot of growth that I'm doing. And then how to help up-level skills and how to develop people to get ready for the next and the now, not just now. So those are the things I'm working on. But in terms of how Sisters in Sales can keep helping me, just let me come and just be, through osmosis and through just being here, absorb this great culture and feeling. When I leave today, I feel like I'm going on the mountaintop and I know I can soar. And those other sisters in there can soar, and we are valuable, we are worth it, and we deserve to be at the table, and we are here. And that's what this has done for me.
Absolutely. Oh, that gave me chills. It made me actually think of the quote from Maya Angelou, I stand as one, but I come as 10,000. And I think that when she said that, it just means that you are using your influence, your power, your voice to help so many. So we do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Thank you for coming here.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Of course.